Heading to Las Vegas to catch the action at Allegiant Stadium? Skip the traffic and the sky-high room rates of the Strip. Book your stay at the South Point Hotel, Casino, and Spa. The South Point is located just 7 miles away from the stadium, and it's a quick trip up the freeway, making it an affordable rideshare or taxi ride. And don't worry about getting here when you land in Vegas. We offer a convenient airport shuttle to get your getaway off to a stress-free start. Shuttles are also available on Raider game days for a small fee. So whether you're rooting for your team or seeing your favorite band in concert at Allegiant Stadium, South Point Hotel, Casino, and Spa is your ticket to all the excitement.
We have 11 amazing restaurants featuring a wide variety for every price range and appetite. South Point's Garden Buffet has something for everyone at unbeatable prices. Or, if hunger strikes in the middle of the night, join us at Coronado Cafe. The American menu offers breakfast, lunch, or dinner 24 hours a day, plus a Chinese kitchen for authentic Chinese dishes from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. From steak and eggs to wonton soup, it's fast and friendly service 24/7. When you need a quick pick-me-up, you can find it at our state-of-the-art Starbucks just inside the main South Point entrance. Order ahead with the Starbucks app for easy mobile order pickups. Or enjoy your favorites in the relaxing dining area anytime, day or night. If you love Mexican food, Baja Miguel's has all of your south of the border favorites. There are dozens of classics to choose from, like fajitas, ceviche, chimichangas, tacos, and more. And for spirit lovers, Baja's colorful non-smoking tequila bar is right outside.
Looking for the place to catch big game action in Las Vegas? Experience the excitement at the South Point Hotel and Casino with multiple watch parties. Free parking as always, the best odds in town, and so much more. The South Point, the place to be for big game weekend. Ready to ramp up your excitement for playoff football? Join our hosts as they break down the matchups, key angles, and futures markets in the final episodes of Football Frenzy.
Seattle Seahawks get it done.
You look at these two teams and you say, wow, they did really well against quality opponents.
Brock Purdy to throw an interception tied up with the Seahawks in this game. I think that's a little bit of a correlation.
I would have given a huge ups to the Rams defensively. Not anymore.
Don't miss your chance to cash tickets and root for your favorite team. Stream Football Frenzy every Friday at noon Pacific.
Welcome in, everybody. Happy Thursday, first Thursday of the month, and our second to last show covering all things you need to know for the big game coming up on Sunday. This is Sports by the Book. Tomorrow will be a long one, Football Frenzy, noon Pacific time with some of the best in the business, some bookmakers. You're not going to want to miss that one. But for today, we have a very special one for you as well. I'm Alex White, third-generation handicapper and host, alongside my co-host and producer, Ryan McCormick. And then we have two special guests here, Ryan. I'm excited about this one. As we always do on Thursdays, Dwayne Colucci, sports and race book manager up at the resort at Summerlin, will be joining us soon. And at the desk next to us, you know him, Ralph Sirocco, host of Race Day Las Vegas with Ralph Sirocco. You can find that 5 days a week, Wednesday through Sunday, talking all things horse racing. So how are you doing today, Ralph?
I'm good. I decided to stick around this morning, help you guys out with, I need your help for some of these Super Bowl bets and et cetera, so it'll be good.
Well, I'm excited. I know you have Dwayne on every Wednesday as well. Do. And all of our regulars love when we have Dwayne because he's always given some pony picks. So we've got ponies, props, and then we'll talk pucks later. Well, maybe a little bit with Dwayne too, some hockey there. So
I got to apologize to Dwayne, and I did that this morning on my show. And now, at my age, you got to, put a sticker on your steering wheel to remind yourself to get gas. And so yesterday, I had 3 handicappers that handicapped the same race. There were only 6 horses in the race, and they handicapped the same race, 3 different horses. And I went on the show this morning and said, I want to apologize for our handicappers. They picked 3 horses in a 6-horse race, 3 different horses, and all of them lost. However, Dwayne, that came on the show, gave a pick at another racetrack on that. But in that particular race, when I was talking about the handicappers that at that point in time had 2 of the 6 horses in the race, Dwayne offered a pick in that race too, and that one did win. So I had to apologize. I got to apologize to Dwayne. He actually did pick the winner in that race.
And you talk about this often. If he goes 1-1 on a day like that, that's good. You're profiting.
Absolutely. Because when you bet a football game, you have to lay 110 to win 100, which means you have to win more than one game to even break even or make money.
That's right.
In horse racing, as long as you can get even money, which is 1-to-1 even money, or a little bit higher, when you make the bet, you're going to make money even if you go 1 out of 2.
Right. So that is the perks, definitely.
Yes. And when you hit an 8 or 9 to 1 shot like that, or a 10 to 1 shot, now you got a lot of leadway there.
Yeah, and with us in the sports betting, when you're going for some of these long shots, I mean, they're priced like that for a reason.
Right.
It's pretty tough to get those.
Right. In horse racing, though, there's a little bit more of a randomness to it, because sometimes you'll have an odds-on horse that does figure to win, and he gets out there in the shape of the race, compromises the horse's chances, et cetera. And then a jockey can always get into trouble in a race with his maneuvering, et cetera. So it's a little bit easier to pick horses with a little bit more meat on the bone, let's say, in horse racing than it is in sports.
Well, I'm excited to get into that. And I know we have some makeup races coming this weekend, so I do want to hear about those from you. But let's take a quick break. Let's make sure Dwayne's good with levels and everything, and then we'll welcome in Ryan, who we haven't seen him yet for this show, and we'll bring in DC, our favorite, up at the resort at Summerlin when we get back right here.
If you're celebrating a special occasion or just love fine dining, you're in the right place. Come experience the crown jewel of South Point restaurants, Michael's Gourmet Room.
Welcome.
With over 600 different types of wines and magnificent dishes prepared tableside, you'll revel in the rich classic Vegas decor and the best black tie service in the world. This intimate gourmet room has earned accolades galore. Come to Michael's Gourmet Room for an unforgettable dining experience. Another famous restaurant is the Silverado Steakhouse, where you'll find the charm and service that discerning patrons require. From top quality steaks and chops to fresh seafood and desserts, you'll love the award-winning wine list and menu at Silverado Steakhouse. Steak lovers have even more options with primarily prime rib. Catering to hearty appetites, the menu features a variety of flavorful prime rib cuts, dry aged to ensure tenderness, and then seasoned and slowly roasted. Although prime rib is our specialty, it's not the only thing on the menu. There's something for everyone.
Ready to ramp up your excitement for playoff football? Join our hosts as they break down the matchups, key angles, and futures markets in the final episodes of Football Frenzy.
Seattle Seahawks get it done.
You look at these two teams and you say, wow, they did really well against quality opponents.
Brock Purdy to throw an interception, tied up with the Seahawks in this game. I think that's a little bit of a correlation.
I would have given a huge ups to the Rams defensively. Not anymore.
Don't miss your chance to cash tickets and root for your favorite team. Stream Football Frenzy every Friday at noon Pacific.
All right, we are back. Sports by the Book is the show. We are live from the South Point Hotel and Casino, and we've got a packed house here today. I'm Alex White. Alongside me, Ralph Sirocco on the desk. Behind the scenes, we've got Ryan McCormick, and now checking in all the way from Summerlin, we got Dwayne Colucci joining us. Let's start it off with a question for Dwayne here, because we are curious where the action is for the big game. Just 3 days away, New England Patriots and the Seattle Seahawks. Dwayne, what are you seeing?
Well, we're seeing a plethora of Seahawk money and a high ticket count on Seattle as well. You know, ticket count is over 2-1, and we are currently sitting at the resort at Summerlin at Seattle -5, and the total is sitting at 45.5. So everybody's parlaying everything to the Seahawks, and you know, hopefully we'll get some Patriot buyback. There's plenty of action left, and you know, just a ton of props we have at the resort at Summerlin and at the South Point. So it's a great week, and definitely looking forward to booking some of them larger bets. But so far, it's been a one-way street, which is surprising. Usually in these Super Bowls, you get a good mix, but early on, it's just all Seattle money, Alex.
Well, I was kind of curious, is that why we see at $2 now? Because everything's getting tied together with Seattle's money line?
Well, I think, you know, not only that, it's just all the money is coming in on Seattle, Ryan. You know, you're not really getting much buyback on the Patriots. And, you know, it is a dead number. We discussed that week in, week out. You know, 5 is such a dead number. I hate that number when I'm gambling on, you know, sporting events, especially the NFL. So it's hard to gauge. I mean, you know, it first came out that Drake may have a shoulder issue. I don't buy into that. I still think the Patriots have a tremendous chance with that defense that they put on the field. And, you know, we've spoken about it time and time again. Sam Darnold has to face a top defense. It's a different scenario than him just playing against the Rams or San Francisco or divisional foes. You know, this is a different entity, a different animal, as I like to call it. You know, this is a battle-tested team that went into a frozen tundra on the road and came out on top. Now, granted, you know, Denver wasn't playing with their superstar quarterback, but, you know, that wouldn't have made much a difference with that weather conditions and, you know, the blowing ice and snow. It was just difficult to get, you know, your offense in sync. And Drake May on the last play had to basically win the game with his legs and put it away with that first down. So we know that he is definitely capable. I think that the Patriots defense can keep Sam Darnold off the field. And then when you start to play ball control, it becomes a little different in a game of this magnitude because, you know, a lot of these players haven't been there before, and they're going to be a little tentative. You know, New England's head coach has been there before, but that doesn't mean anything. He can't suit up.
Very true. And then you're talking about the quarterback, so I was curious. We do have quarterback matchup props, Sam Darnold or Drake May, to do certain things in the game, go over passing yards and given kind of yardage back and forth. Do you have any thoughts on those props or taking much action on those props yet?
Well, you're seeing a lot of the Donalds over. I mean, you know, and everybody's betting on Smith-Njigba, you know, all these different players that they have that could definitely, you know, make a big play, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to happen. We have seen some action on the, you know, pass completions on Donald over, also, you know, the rushing attempts on Drake May. So, you know, you have so many different, we have 19 pages here, Ryan. So, you know, there's so much that everybody could bet on. I like to bet on the team, you know, Ralph, getting back to what Ralph was saying, you know, I'm a horse player, so I'm looking for odds. So I definitely start to look at alternate point spreads with big pluses. I look at the first player to score a touchdown in the game as well as the last player. So I don't feel that you get much value on the MVP at this stage of the game, but definitely on them first and last scores, you get a lot of value on that. So that's where I've been looking. But the general public is definitely betting Darnold over, Smith-Njigba over, Shaheed is definitely, you know, a factor, Cooper Kupp. They have so many different offensive weapons. And you know that on the other side, they're focusing in on Stephon Diggs and Drake May.
Ralph, you were saying you were hoping that more money would even continue to come in on Seattle, and you might get a 6.
Yeah, I mean, you can push it to 6 with no problem there for me.
I'm laying 3.5 with the Patriots. I'll tell you that right now. I think that they can win the game straight up. So I'm going to look at them alternate point spreads, Ralph. I'm looking at Patriots minus 3.5, maybe even to 7.5. Wherever I can find and shop and get a big plus, I'm looking at that. Plus, I think Drake may run in, the first touchdown with his legs. Like I said, Diggs is definitely a weapon, and if you could get double-digit odds on him, maybe they could stretch the field. A lot of people are going to be looking for a short game from the Patriots. They may mix it up. You have to keep in mind this is the Super Bowl. This is the big game. This is where you don't want to play your hand and perceive what you've done for the last 6 weeks. You want to throw a few glitches in there to throw the opponent off and put their defense on their heels. So definitely going downfield to Diggs and, Drake maybe some long plays with his legs. We'll see what happens.
Well, all I can say is I think this is going to be a closer game than a lot of people think.
Totally agree with you, Ralph.
And
totally agree.
I was looking at the point spreads. You talk about certain point spreads where the one proposition is, will the team that wins the game win by exactly 3 points? I could see this coming down to a winning field goal.
Yeah, it's not out of the question. I mean, definitely this could be a tight game, a struggle game. Let's remember that Colt game where Seattle could not get the ball in the end zone, and I think New England has a better defense than they do. So, as long as the health maintains these next couple of days, that's going to be very important and the focus. This could definitely come down to the wire. You have two battle-tested teams, two strong teams, and I'm just surprised that the money is going one way. I think it's more because they had a flashier win against the Rams. A lot of people perceive the Rams as one of the top teams throughout the regular season, and Seattle was able to beat them. Cooper Kupp did damage. Like we said, Smith-Njigba, he's unbelievable at times. He could just really stretch the field. And then you have that weapon when you punt the ball or you kick off to Shaheed. So, a lot of offensive weapons, but let's microscope that Seattle defense. They did give up points in that last game, and maybe New England could move the ball against this defense.
Dwayne, what are you thinking for the first half right now? It looks like you guys are holding strong here. Seattle, a 3-point favorite in the total 22.5. Any bets for the first half?
Yeah, so far the ticket count is nearly 2-1 on Seattle in the first half. I mean, 3 is a lot, more than half of the total points spread for the game, which it usually is, which means Donald has to get off to a quick start. And, a lot of these teams become tentative early on, especially when they're new to the surroundings, screaming crowd, and just, it kind of puts you in a tense situation. So maybe take the points there. I'm sorry I'm going in one direction with New England, but I definitely think that defense is going to be strong and put a good pass rush on Donald. That's the whole key. You have to force this man to make mistakes, and we've seen him do it before, especially last year with Minnesota in the key playoff game. I mean, he's been kind of flawless this year, but this is, like I said, a different opponent and a different type of scenario and game.
Well, let's try and break down this total a little bit more. And I asked Dwayne about it a week ago, and now we've had a little bit more time to digest it. But to your point, it's very tricky because we know both run defenses are good. They may be taking shots down the field. They may be passing more, which would lead to more points. But it sounds like the majority of us are thinking it's going to be more of a rock fight and more of a defensive battle here. Ralph, did you have an opinion on the total at 45.5?
Well, I'm of the opinion that the NFL has gone out of its way with the rules changes and all the other things that are happening, that they want the games to be exciting. They want the games to have a lot of scoring, etc. And I'm sure that particular sense will carry into how the judges and the referees officiate this game. So I'm looking to take it over. I want to see a good Super Bowl. When I bet unders in a game, I usually bet the under and then go watch reruns of I Love Lucy or something. I'm not going to watch a game because I don't want to see any scoring if I'm betting the under. So in order to have some fun with this, I'm going to bet the over.
Ryan, you're on the over as well.
I do like the over in this game, but I am concerned, and it kind of goes to DC's point of maybe Drake May scoring the first touchdown of the game, rushing-wise. I do like the rushing props in the first half, rushing touchdowns in the first half for both teams. Seahawks to score a rushing touchdown in the first half, plus 120. Patriots to score a rushing touchdown in the first half, plus 175. So that kind of saves, even if Drake May doesn't score the first touchdown, As long as he does it in the first half, it'd be pretty good there. But it kind of goes with that 10-1. But that's also what my concern is if it does become a running game and kind of milking the clock and make sure the play clock gets all the way down to 0 or within 5, and not necessarily having a bunch of big play possibilities. That's what concerns me about the total. But I do think, yeah, the way that these offenses are going to be able to spread the field and kind of push the field on their pass attempts, I do think that we're going to get scoring in this game.
And then last but not least, DC, where are you at with this total right now?
Yeah, it's a tough read for me because it works both ways. And like Ralph said, he brought up some great points that, the NFL is looking with the rule changes for more scoring. The whole key there is that, if, like Ryan said, Drake May does score the first touchdown and then you see Seattle punt, they're going to start milking the clock immediately. But that doesn't mean anything. I mean, there could be turnovers in this game. Like we said here, Mr. Shaheed, definitely he could open up and stretch the field. Drake May had a 73% completion rate this year. So definitely he's capable of scoring and putting up points. And, if you go back to that Buffalo game earlier in the season, they definitely, it was kind of a shootout sense there. So maybe this game could go over and still have New England win. So I agree with both Ryan and with Ralph that, the way it's structured and the way the NFL is structured for excitement and these rule changes, it definitely stretches the field. And that's why you're seeing the public favor Seattle, because they have the more flashier offense, more offensive weapons. That also comes into play from the other side of the counter, other than my side, where we see the public is enamored with that offense, and that's what they're looking for. And if the refs start to call a game like that, it does favor Seattle because they have a few more offensive weapons, but their defense has to be up to the task of stopping a person who had a 73% completion rate this year as well. So it works both ways, but it could definitely go over. That's why we're not seeing much action, tilt the scales. We opened it at 46. I know Chris did, and it's at 45.5. So this is a great matchup. Don't kid yourself. This is not a lopsided matchup.
One more for you two, just with you guys being horse bettors here. There's got to be some correlated parlays, and I don't know if they're necessarily available here at the South Point, but at other shops where if we're looking for maybe pass attempts for both quarterbacks, that going over, maybe completions if you like that better, and then maybe some of the running backs looking for their rushing attempts under. Joanne, can you think of any correlations that you'd be looking at with player props or anything with the Super Bowl?
Well, you're going to see the correlations with Seattle and the over, you're going to see, unless they have a lead where Donald starts to throw the ball, they have a great running back as well. So it's very difficult to get a gauge on these correlated parlays. I mean, Walker, if they get ahead and they get a big lead, he's going to have a ton of attempts. They're just going to milk the clock. And the same thing works with the New England Patriots. So it's difficult to get a read if you're parlaying props, Alex. Yeah. That's the whole thing. We don't allow that at the resort at Summerlin and at the South Point, but there are several properties, and the Westgate, I know they have special colored sheets for the ones that you can parlay. So you're going to see a lot of people looking at the Walker and Stevenson props and looking to parlay if over attempts and over rushing yards, or under if you feel that it's going to be a shootout and a passing game. So I think I'm seeing a lot of Sam Darnold over props on his completions as well as his yardage. And we're seeing Drake May, more rushing attempt props. Yeah. That's what I'm seeing as a trend. But it's tough to get a read on the correlated parlays, but that's the way they'll bet them. And it's the way the public perceives the game that comes into play with that. I mean, you're looking at Donald, I've seen his completions somewhere in the range of, there's the graphic, actually 20. So yeah, we're seeing a lot. Pass attempts as well. If they fall behind, he's going to be airing it out every play. But if he's under a lot of pressure, Patriots are going to produce, then who knows? If he starts taking sacks, then they may look to run and play the short game.
Well, you guys are the handicappers for the sports and all that, as far as doing the numbers and all that. But I think that, when it comes to a game, just like it does in horse racing, you first got to sit there and say, okay, who are the participants and how do you think the game is going to play out? Once you make the decision, it's going to be a game where there's a lot of scoring, less scoring, et cetera, then you can start fine-tuning of how many touchdowns might be, how many field goals might be, et cetera. But I think the first thing you do as far as horse racing is concerned, I think in any sport, is you got to sit there and say, well, how do I think this game is going to play out? How do I think it's going to go? And then you work from there. I know that last year you talk about, I love Ryan with talking about the quarterback proposition. Last year, because you had two dynamic quarterbacks, I took the quarterbacks to score the first touchdown on each side.
Yep.
And what happened was, as you remember, Philadelphia got down and had a pass to, I forgot who the receiver was, and he hit his knee at about the 1 foot line before he fell into the end zone. They called it a touchdown, and then they reviewed it and said, no, he was short. And then I got the tush push with the quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles, and before I got my first drink, I was 700 up because I bet $100 on each side. And he was 7-1. It was great.
Well, and you could also get good odds, like DC was saying. Not every year it works out that way, but with Saquon Barkley being more of a favorite than Jalen Hurts, you could get good odds for him MVP.
Yeah.
The last 5 years, 3 of the first touchdowns have been passing, 2 were rushing, and they were both Jalen Hurts. So that was a great call by you taking both of those.
Well,
so,
I don't know, it was a great call, but I mean, I was thankful that he didn't lean in before he put his knee on the ground. Because once it got to the 1 foot line, I knew it was going to go on. Everybody knew it was going to go on.
Right.
I mean, if you get a bet it if you get a bet that prop in game betting, it would have been like minus 500 or so, minus 1,000 or whatever, you know.
Well, Rob, you're more
Definitely.
traditional.
And that was one of my biggest scores was Ben Roethlisberger. Actually, he actually attempted it twice in a row. He was short the first time on a sneak, and then he scored on the second one. I was shocked because I thought they would never try it again 2 in a row, and I had massive odds he was because Ben had no legs whatsoever. But like you said, Ralph, your knee falls short on the half-inch line. You knew that Jalen Hurts was going to get the tush push as opposed to Barkley basically running it up the middle. So great call there. The quarterbacks are always massive value to score the first touchdown with their legs, and especially in a Super Bowl like this. I mean, Drake May runs, but Sam Darnold really, he has to be forced out of the pocket to run. So we'll see how this plays out, but definitely good value on those two quarterbacks.
Well, and last year was great value on either side because with Mahomes on the other side of this equation, if you got to the 5-yard line, and his receivers were covered and it was spread out, he'd run in for the touchdown. So was good. I like your shot there, Brian.
Well, just to kind of go to Alex's correlated parlay, I do have a solid or solo prop look here at the South Point of over combined interceptions of 1.5, getting a plus price there, plus 130 here at the South Point. But if you want to correlate it with each side, you can take the Patriots money line and Sam Darnold to throw an interception elsewhere in Vegas, and you can get plus 360. And then if you like the Seahawks, Drake May to throw an interception and the Seahawks money line, you're getting a plus 125.
Now you're making money.
Yep.
Did anything jump out to you? Did anything jump out to you for prop wise that you were looking at? I know you already told us you like the side and the total, so more traditional, but I think there was one prop you were looking at.
Yeah, the fourth down, to convert the fourth down. This year, with the analytics coming into play with all these new young coaches, you've seen teams go on fourth down a lot this year. And I was looking for a prop with successful fourth down or not, and you've got one. You got one on either side here.
And speaking of the tush push, we know that A.J. Barner's used for Seattle in that situation and has been a few times this year. So I could definitely see that too.
Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah.
Because it's the last game of the year for a while, so we're going to be betting on everything from the coin flip to, with the color of the Gatorade, I guess.
Do you stay consistent with the coin flip every year?
What's that?
Do you bet the same side on the coin flip every year? Stay consistent?
I don't bet the coin flip.
DC, what about you? Heads or tails?
I draw a line somewhere, and that's it right there.
I'm not touching it. Maybe the longest scoring play, maybe a field goal. I've seen that prop. I think maybe that could be, a possibility if somebody legs one out. But, also you got these two wide receivers that could stretch the field. So I may be wrong on that, but I think the longest scoring play will be a field goal, not a rush or a pass.
And then I like a defensive or special team anytime touchdown.
Oh, okay, cool.
I think both of these defenses, as we talked about, are really good and do have the ability to do that. So Gonna take a little shot there.
Yes, I don't bet coin flips and I don't bet dog racing, so that's where I draw the line.
Well, you do bet horse racing, and there's a
Yeah.
lot coming up this weekend. What do we got with some of these makeup races?
Well, Dwayne, like I said, I have to apologize to him. He actually gave us a winner yesterday on the show. I discounted it because it was his second pick, but he gave us a bonus pick and you won there. So I apologize to
Well,
you
the
for
first
that.
pick scratched, so that was the number one pick. The first pick, there was no Turfway.
Well,
Come
then
on,
wait a
Ralph.
minute. Why are you giving us scratched horses, my man?
No, it was they canceled the card. They canceled the card. It wasn't a scratched horse, and that's why I gave an alternate pick. There was definitely a possibility they could have canceled Turfway.
Yeah.
And hey, for once I beat Hardoon, right?
That's right, you did.
And Rich.
And I told him
There was-
about it this
all
morning
three of
too.
us
So
picked the same race.
I told him about it this morning too. That you beat him
Hey,
for sure. But yeah,
Even
there's
a blind squirrel finds a nut.
Well, you know, Dwayne, that because of all of the weather problems with the Arctic blast that went through there on the East Coast, a lot of the big races that are stepping stones, prep races up to the Kentucky Derby on the first Saturday in May, were canceled. And so we flip them over to this week, and there were also stakes races this week on the card. So we got it jammed up to where there's a lot of good. There's 4 races between tomorrow and Sunday in horse racing that will provide leaderboard points for the Kentucky Derby leaderboard there, and 3 for the Kentucky Oaks.
Wow.
Yeah.
So those are some that we definitely need to be paying attention to, and there's
Yeah.
going to be plenty of people in the sports books
Yeah.
and in
Well,
the race.
we all know that, everybody comes out for the Super Bowl. It's a big event thing. And the same thing in horse racing. They don't really pay too much attention to horse racing unless they're a racing fan until the Kentucky Derby
Right.
comes around. Well, for all the folks that are coming here to 300,000 and a lot of them that'll be jamming here at the South Point because everything is not overly exorbitantly priced and ridiculous with what they're doing on the Strip with a seat that you can sit today in a book today on the Strip, that you can sit for free watching sports or horses. You'll have to pay $1,000 for or more if you want to do the same thing on Sunday there. It's ridiculous. So, everything's free and good here. So I just wanted to make that point. But anyhow, those people will be, milling around throughout the casino and the sports and race book Saturday and Sunday before they go up and watch the game or go to the party. So they have an opportunity to see some of the horses that they're going to be wanting to see on Derby Day run in the Derby. So it's up to us horse players when they come moseying on in to say, hey, listen, here comes a race, the Southwest Stakes or the Withers, et cetera, horses that are eligible to go in the Kentucky Derby. You might want to take a look and bet that.
Dwayne, how do you manage to balance all of that in one weekend?
Yeah, it's great, Alex. Ralph hit the nail on the head. I mean, you have so many races that have Kentucky Derby implications or Kentucky Oaks implications this weekend. And, just because of the weather, it all takes place on this big game weekend. And it's tremendous. I mean, you have the Withers, you have the Sam F. Davis, you have the Southwest, and these are in all different parts of the country in Hot Springs, Arkansas, New York, you have California, you have Florida. So it's just tremendous. And you want to see these horses represent in the Kentucky Derby, like Ralph said. So, you have to definitely make your selections, look at the track conditions, take a look at the weather. The schedules have been rearranged, but these races are very, very important as you have the road to the Kentucky Derby and the Triple Crown. So definitely going to be a great weekend of horse racing. Hopefully the weather will subside. I know they're looking for another Arctic blast in New York again this weekend.
Yeah.
And Turfway had canceled yesterday. Well, they raced today. I saw the first race. So, definitely it's going to be great to have the racing at a full schedule. But the weather has been definitely a thorn in our sides as race handicappers. And Ralph, attests to that every day. He goes over the schedule. He is so precise. And we have an excellent team on the Race Day Las Vegas show. I mean, you have Hardoon that's in New York. You have John Lindo on the West Coast, you have me and Ralph here, Jerry J. It's just a great, great team. And then you have Richard Eng, who produces some great picks, whether it's horses or sports. So we definitely want you guys to listen to this show because we'll break it down. And definitely, I was a victim yesterday, like Ralph said. They canceled Turfway. I had a pick there, but, I had to protect myself because of the weather. You want to have alternate selections and alternate parts of the country, to pick horses because of this weather and this wipeout on the East Coast and basically 60% of the country.
I wonder if this Arctic blast that came through, let's say in the last couple of weeks in places like Green Bay or Chicago, if the players would have actually played the game, if they would have had to postpone the game, because in horse racing, the jockeys they're pretty, they're hardy people, and for that to get to the point where it got below the point where they wouldn't ride out there, I wondered if it would have held the same to the football.
Yeah, that is interesting and ironic. 2 weeks ago, right? It was in Denver.
Yeah.
It looked like it wasn't going to be bad there.
Yeah.
And we saw the second half and then
Yeah.
the NFC in Seattle. So they were pretty fortunate.
Yeah, good. It was good. That was good stuff.
Well, you guys are talking winter weather, and I'm wearing a USA jersey, so we do have the Winter Olympics coming up. It's actually event started today. So
this morning.
What are you guys excited about in that for these next couple of weeks?
Well, it's always when you think of the Olympics, you always think of, do you believe in miracles?
That's right.
Right? That's all you think about.
That's right.
In fact, I caught a little bit of the women hockey this morning. As you say,
Nice.
Ryan, it started today, and we were doing pretty good when I left the book.
I think we're up 5-1.
Definitely hockey is the prime sport, in my opinion, in the Winter Olympics. I love to watch the skiing and the ice skating events, but, hockey is the major competition, and you have some really good teams out there. Keep your eye on Sweden. Their whole roster is NHL players, so definitely that is a factor when you look at the professionals on each team, whereas Ralph and I are paisans, and Italy has not one professional NHL player on their roster. So keep that in mind when you're handicapping these.
Hey, we're
hockey
busy
games,
to
but
making
yeah.
pasta,
That's right. That's right. But it's in Italy. I mean, so, maybe we could fatten up some of these opponents and they'll actually not be prepared from all the pasta.
Or better yet, Dwayne, we can make them a deal they can't refuse.
There you go. That's right. The best. Always. Definitely.
Well, we got a little taste of it last year with the Four Nations, so I'm really looking forward to hockey this year in the Olympics. And Dwayne does a great job handicapping the NHL with us. We talk about it every week with him, so we'll have him on next week and get his thoughts. We'll also have Eddie Olczyk, so he'll actually be in Italy. Yeah, so
Eddie Olczyk. Now, there's a parlay for you. He knows everything about the sports on that side, and he's a hell of a handicapper for horse racing,
that's
too.
right. Yep, Hucks and
he is.
Ponies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good guy.
So Sports by the Book is the show. Make sure you guys...
You're darn right. Listen, this time of the morning, I'd be at home. I'm having breakfast at 10 a.m., and I always got you guys on to watch you over the streaming, and it's a good show, man. It's a great show. I can tell you that for sure.
Well, we appreciate that, and just like yours is, and that's why we are not giving out any pony picks today. You got to tune in tomorrow morning. It's 7 a.m. live, but it's on YouTube. Race Day Las Vegas, so you can watch it whenever you want, right? So people wake up late, but you do have a very active chat. So if people want to get in there and jump in and get in conversation with some other people that love betting on horses, they should.
That chat box is really great. I love it, and I love all the guys there, good, bad, or indifferent with the opinions. They're just they have a passion for the sport, just like you guys have a passion for sports. That's why I love this stuff.
Yes, and you too, Ralph. And how long have you had this show going now?
The Race Day show started in 1996 on the radio, and Mr. Gone was my first sponsor.
Love it.
Been with me ever since.
Absolutely love it. Do you want to do a Jerry send-off for us here or anything?
Oh, no, that's Jerry's thing.
That's
All I want to say is tune in tomorrow. Tune in for Sports by the Book. These people, we got a great staff of people, and not only the ones in front of the camera, but the ones behind the camera too.
Yes.
And we'll get you some winners.
And Ann, we got to give Ann a shout out. She's running all these shows.
Isn't she behind the scenes?
Yes.
Otherwise, you can bring her out of here. Bring her out here right now.
There was just a moment. Alex forgot to thank Ann yesterday, so we had to make sure we got that.
Okay.
Can you believe it?
You forgot to thank Ann.
Yes, I've got a list right there. And,
Oh my goodness.
I know.
Do you have to give her an umbrella in the rain too, or what?
This was fun.
That's good.
I am glad we got both of you here together. It was a lot of fun. Before we do let you both go, Dwayne, did you check the hockey schedule? Because it's our last slate until after Olympic break. So we're definitely going to miss these Thursdays with you. And we got a few good ones, a lot of teams on back-to-backs, 4 of them.
Yeah, definitely, Alex. Yeah, the Knights are on a back-to-back. I don't know if Panarin will be suiting up for the Kings tonight, but that was a huge trade. He's crossing the United States from Madison Square Garden, now going to the LA Kings. So that's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. I think the Rangers short man tonight, they've totally given up, Alex. Let's look at the Hurricanes on the puck line. I think they have a tremendous shot in that. And, the Lightning are just tremendous right now. Look at their streak, 7 out of 8. It's amazing. They came back in that outdoor game. They love to get up for these games against the Panthers. So, I know it's a big price, but I still like the Lightning. I think the Panthers will definitely be the team to be reckoned with in the second half once they fully get healthy. They're starting to get healthy. So keep that in mind. And this break is coming at a tremendous time for them. So, tonight I like the Lightning, but future considerations, keep your eye on this Florida Panther team. They're usually very strong in the second half.
Yeah, and a backup goalie going tonight, it will not be Bobrovsky, so that makes me like the Lightning even more. But good point, Dwayne. There's not going to be a lot of value betting on the Panthers future-wise, but we can definitely pay attention second half and be betting them game by game.
Yes. Definitely, Alex. Great point. And they're going to get better and better as the season goes on. The Eastern Conference is such an enigma this year. You have all these young teams that are starting to rise to the cusp other than Tampa. And it's going to be interesting to see if they could bang out some playoff series against these veteran teams like Florida and Tampa.
Looking forward to it. And we will have that covered along with everything else here on Sports by the Book. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we get back, Ryan and I are going to go through the entire hockey slate and then recap on our Super Bowl prop bets that we do have in pocket so far and maybe add a couple more. Ralph, again, thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for tuning in and watching us consistently. And again, you can watch his show Wednesday through Sunday, 7 a.m. on YouTube, Race Day Las Vegas.
All right, and you guys have a great sports and race day, by the way.
Very good. Thank you. All right, let's take a quick break. DC, thank you as well. We'll catch you.
Always a pleasure to join you.
Have a great weekend. I hope it's not too crazy, but just crazy enough. You guys are going to have a lot of people up there. If you're in the Summerlin side, go say hi to Dwayne at the resort at Summerlin. So we'll check in again next week. Best of luck, everybody. And Ryan and I will be right back here on Sports by the Book.
Heading to Las Vegas to catch the action at Allegiant Stadium? Skip the traffic and the sky-high room rates of the Strip. Book your stay at the South Point Hotel, Casino, and Spa. The South Point is located just 7 miles away from the stadium, and it's a quick trip up the freeway, making it an affordable rideshare or taxi ride. And don't worry about getting here when you land in Vegas. We offer a convenient airport shuttle to get your getaway off to a stress-free start. Shuttles are also available on Raider game days for a small fee. So whether you're rooting for your team or seeing your favorite band in concert at Allegiant Stadium, South Point Hotel, Casino, and Spa is your ticket to all the excitement.
We have 11 amazing restaurants featuring a wide variety for every price range and appetite. South Point's Garden Buffet has something for everyone at unbeatable prices. Or, if hunger strikes in the middle of the night, join us at Coronado Cafe. The American menu offers breakfast, lunch, or dinner 24 hours a day, plus a Chinese kitchen for authentic Chinese dishes from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. From steak and eggs to wonton soup, it's fast and friendly service 24/7. When you need a quick pick-me-up, you can find it at our state-of-the-art Starbucks just inside the main South Point entrance. Order ahead with the Starbucks app for easy mobile order pickups. Or enjoy your favorites in the relaxing dining area anytime, day or night. If you love Mexican food, Baja Miguel's has all of your south of the border favorites. There are dozens of classics to choose from, like fajitas, ceviche, chimichangas, tacos, and more. And for spirit lovers, Baja's colorful non-smoking tequila bar is right outside.
Ready to ramp up your excitement for playoff football? Join our hosts as they break down the matchups, key angles, and futures markets in the final episodes of Football Frenzy.
Seattle Seahawks get it done.
You look at these two teams and you say, wow, they did really well against quality opponents.
Brock Purdy to throw an interception, tied up with the Seahawks in this game. I think that's a little bit of a correlation.
I would have given a huge ups to the Rams defensively. Not anymore.
Don't miss your chance to cash tickets and root for your favorite team. Stream Football Frenzy every Friday at noon Pacific.
All right, we are back at Sports by the Book. We are live from the South Point Hotel and Casino. You can find us 5 days a week, 10 a.m. Vegas time, Monday through Thursday, and on Fridays at noon. Thank you to Ralph Sirocco and Dwayne Colucci. Really enjoyed that last 40 minutes with those two, talking everything. Props, pucks, ponies, a little bit of everything there for us on this one. All right, Ryan, we got to get back to it. We have a recap from yesterday. We've got some things happening right now with trivia questions and poll questions.
Yep.
And Ralph, right before he left, he did say that his handicapper had let him and Sean know that there is a race canceled now for this weekend. So Aqueduct is canceled Saturday and Sunday. So we had a chance to break some horse news here.
Yeah. Well, it's always good. And if you are looking for race day stuff, remember it's 7 to 8 a.m. Wednesday through Sunday. They'll be back at it tomorrow with all your horse racing needs and information for the day slate. So 7, 8 a.m. at South Point Studio on YouTube. You can go over there and watch Race Day Las Vegas. But for yesterday's recap, we got NBA and NHL. Wager Talk still has yesterday's men's college basketball games still being played, so couldn't get the final numbers on those. But anyway, NBA favorites yesterday in 7 games went 4-3 straight up, 3-4 against the spread, and totals were 5-2, 5 overs, 2 unders there in the NBA. And then in 10 NHL games yesterday, favorites were 7-3 straight up, 6 games with a favorite or with a puck line being covered, winning by at least 2 goals, 2 of which were reverse puck lines, and totals were 6-4 in those games, 6 overs, 4 unders. The home teams defeated the away teams 39-31, meaning the Grand Salami went over the total of 63. It was a pick on both ways, but 70 total goals there yesterday in the NHL. We've got ticker trivia going across the bottom line, and it is a Super Bowl question for you guys. It'll be a race to who can type this one the fastest, but Super Bowl 49 played February 1st, 2015 in Glendale, Arizona, saw the only other season finale matchup between the Seahawks and the Patriots. Which player famously secured victory for their team with a last-minute interception at the goal line? So we'll give you guys a couple minutes to type that one in. We'll give you the answer at the end of the show, but it is a race to who can type that one the fastest, and we do have a race to who can type the fastest of their coin toss guesses, because we did want your guys' thoughts on which side, correct answer, which team wins it. So gave you the outcome, heads or tails, which one you want to take, coin toss winner, Seahawks or Patriots, which one you'd want to take, or will the player that calls the coin toss for the Seahawks be correct or wrong? So Here at the South Point, you only have to lay a -102 on either one of those bets. There are other books where you have to lay a -105, so you're laying less big if you want to play something like that. And we'll give you our choices just for the fun of it because we're not betting it. So, but yeah, that was our poll for today. We do also have a post for today over on our YouTube page, and it is 1 or 2 for the money. Which Seahawks under receptions pick in Sunday's game are you going with? So we gave you Rashid Shaheed having to go under his receptions prop of 1.5. You're getting a +110 price here at the South Point. That is just a 1 reception there. Kenneth Walker under 2.5 receptions. There's the 2, +140 here at the South Point. And Cooper Kupp under 2.5, another 2 there, +140 here at the South Point. So all those receivers going under their reception prop who will not get the receptions in Sunday's game. That is over in our post over on our page. But yesterday's, we were asking you to kind of predict how the game is going to flow. So which scoring prediction prop are you going with for Sunday? Seahawks to win the first half. Seahawks win the game. You're getting a plus even money price there. Seahawks or Patriots to win the first half. Patriots to win the game. You're getting a $3.50 price there. Team to score first will not win the game, +160. And team to score last will not win the game, getting +175 there. And it was not quite unanimous, but definitely a majority vote there. Seahawks to win the first half. Seahawks to win the game. Perfectly content with getting that even money.
Won by quite a lot there too.
80% of the vote. Yeah, 80 to 20, and then the Patriots to win the first half did not get any votes, and the team to score last will not win the game. Did not get any votes.
And that did happen last year, right? With the Chiefs, I believe they scored last, but
the game was out of hand. So
yeah. So that one's kind of interesting there. Ryan, before we jump into hockey and stuff, is there any concern? And I'm going to let you pronounce his name because I'll mess it up. But with the stud rookie, you see all that news with...
Oh, Nick Manwari?
Yeah.
Yeah, it did. That did worry me a little bit. Yeah, so they in practice, they said he injured his ankle. Don't know the severity of it. Would anticipate that he'll still want to play in the game. But there still needs to be more released on the severity of it to actually know whether or not he will be playing or how much it will actually hinder him for the game. But yeah, Nick Manwari, defensive back for the Seahawks, dealing with a ankle injury that he suffered in practice yesterday.
The latest that I saw is that it is a low ankle sprain. And McDonald said fully expect him to play. So I guess that's the bright side, right? Can kind of give him some strong Tylenol to get through the one game. But yeah, it was a little scary yesterday, especially because they wanted to do, or they said they were going to do some imaging today, right? And then that's when you're like, okay, so it's bad enough that they want to do some MRIs and stuff to see what's going on there. But I mean, it's kind of Dwayne brought it up last week because he said they can get hurt in practice and stuff, but it's everybody, it's been a long season. We know with Sam Darnold, the oblique that he was dealing with to start the playoffs, now Drake May and his shoulder. So kind of everybody just a little banged up, but we'll keep an eye on that for sure. Okay, do we want to check in with the chat? It looks like it was pretty active today. Some of our regulars, anything that jumps out? I did see JR say hello from Florida. So anything else?
We had a ton of love for Dwayne and for Ralph. A bunch of race day love there from Bob, from Dean. We also had Nick letting us know that the Patriots O-line can't block for Drake May. And then Sean mentioning that I like the Seahawks over sacks, getting a plus price there. Also, we did get a race. Did a little bit of a race there to type the correct trivia answer.
Okay.
And then Joey B likes your strong Tylenol. It might be a little more of a Percocet, but and then Joey B also liking my hair apparently today.
Very good. And I saw college basketball just now pop up. Dean Hill, I do have two that I like. If there are any games that you are curious with some numbers, just let us know in the chat and we can go through those. The only thing I'm sad about and feel bad for is that Vinny wasn't here when we had all that Italian talk going on, because he would have been right there with Dwayne and Ralph. But we'll have Vinny tomorrow, as well as Jay Cornegay who used to run Westgate, still involved, still with them, but will give us his thoughts on the game, and Chris Andrews. So there'll be 5 of us tomorrow. So 12 o'clock Pacific time here. Don't want to miss that one.
Yep.
To the hockey board.
7 games.
7 games.
We'll start in Washington, D.C., where the Capitals are taking on the Predators. Let me make sure I got the right odds. Second of a back-to-back for the Predators. They lost in overtime last night, so I did get the winner on the Wild and Predators to go to overtime.
Ryan, that was amazing. I was keeping track on my phone, and it was 4-4, and then they both scored 5-5,
Yeah.
and then it's like he's going to get this. They're going to
Yeah,
overtime.
it was pretty dramatic. Yeah, they scored both. It was 3-3 at the end of 1, and then 4-4 at the end of 2, and then it didn't look like we were going to get any goals in the third, and then they both scored late to get us to overtime there. But yeah, nice $3 price there for that one to go to overtime. But for today's game, the Capitals are a minus 160 home favorite here in this one, plus 140 on the Preds, and a total of 6.5 with 110 either way.
Really trying to dive into this one because we haven't seen Logan Thompson in quite some time, but I mean, he is probable on both of the websites that I use, likely and expected, but no for sure answer there. Was trying to look on Twitter as well, but I have the number there for the side, minus 164 I have for the Caps. At 6.5, though, I do have a lean to the under here. I made this game 6 over, minus 120, so a little bit of a difference there, but I'd like to know about the goalie situation first. So, and the Preds on a back-to-back, those haven't been the best for our unders. So it's a lean. I'm debating, but as of right now, I'm probably not going to play it.
Well, I've lost 3 straight bets in which the Capitals were involved in the game, so it is a stay out for me. We tried to test the luck with getting a plus price on them the other night against the Flyers, as the Capitals were on a win streak and the Flyers were on a losing streak, and we still lost that one. The Flyers win 4-2. So, yeah, this one ultimately a stay out for me because I can't seem to figure out what the Capitals are doing.
Yeah. Maybe the break's what they need as well.
Yes.
Maybe they're another team we look out for, like Florida.
All right, going to Buffalo, where the Sabres are a minus 125 home favorite, plus 105 for the Penguins, and a total of 6.5 with a 120 to the over.
6.5, that's right where I am for the total here. I am a little bit higher on Buffalo at home. It looks like it will be Alex Lyon, though, and Stuart Skinner, who has played really good in Pittsburgh on the other side. Pittsburgh has lost 2 in a row, though, coming into this one, so not enough of a difference for me to get involved and delay that. But if I were to play it, I would take a shot with the Sabres here. Did you like anything, or is this one that we could try and get another overtime? I know you've been betting both of these teams.
Yeah.
On overtimes.
And I think today, the entire hockey slate, we're going to be getting a lot of competitive hockey, knowing that it's the last game before the break. Some of the guys that aren't going to participate for their countries are going to be trying to fight and make the best of it before they get a 2+ week break. So I do think a lot of these games will be tight, and these two teams have been playing in some pretty tight games recently. So both teams coming off of a road loss in overtime. Pittsburgh won the first meeting between these two teams 4-2, but that was back in November. Pittsburgh has lost 2 straight 1-goal games, have played in 3 straight 1-goal games. They beat the Rangers by 1 goal earlier. But yeah, you mentioned the Sabres, the kind of ways that they folded, or the way they won the game against the Panthers and the way that they lost the other night. Not too good, but playing tight games. So getting a plus 315 price here for this one to go to overtime. I like it there. We'll root for this one to go to overtime as well.
All right. I had a feeling you were going with that one, and I like it. I think that's probably a good way to play that between those two. And that's a good point about tonight being the last night. Now we just have to make sure that they're pretty evenly matched, because it looked like it was going to go that way for Vancouver and Vegas last night, and then Vegas really stepped up and gave it their all for the last 2 periods.
Yeah. I mean, Vegas in the third period, we've kind of gotten used to them stepping up the last, really the entire regular season. All right, going to Philly, where the Senators are a road favorite here, minus 135, plus 115 for the Flyers, and a total of 6, minus 110 either way.
I don't have any crazy streaks right now. Ryan, Flyers have won one, but before that, how bad was their losing streak? Do you remember? Because right now,
So they had just lost 4 straight, but they've lost a very good amount since the beginning of December. I want to say around 20 games.
Okay. Yeah, I knew we had one going, and then they broke that streak against the Capitals. But, I mean, I don't really know what to do with this Ottawa team. I know that they are talented, but to be laying minus 135 on the road, it would be dog or pass for me.
The Flyers have lost 20 games since the start of December. They have 2 different 4-game losing streaks. They have a 4-game losing streak, which they just broke. They had a 6-game losing streak. They had a 3-game losing streak, and then a bunch of losses sandwiched between 1 win at a time.
Jeez.
So Flyers really not playing good as of late. They just beat the Capitals. We tried to get a plus price there. But it is the 3rd and final meeting of the season between these two. The Senators have won both of the prior ones, so they're going for a 3-game season series sweep. But both of those games were within the first month and a half of the season starting. So we're now 2.5 months since that last meeting, but both of those wins by Ottawa were just by 1 goal. Both teams enter this one off of ending a streak. So Ottawa had won 4 straight prior to losing in Carolina on the second night of a back-to-back, which I had Ottawa. And the Flyers broke their 4-game losing streak by beating the Capitals, which I had the Capitals. So I would tend to think that the Senators will get it done, but I don't want to lay a minus 135 price for them to. So figuring that we're going to get some good efforts from both of these teams, it ultimately is a stay off for me.
It's a tough one. It really is. That you saying that the Senators won the first 2 kind of makes me like the dog even more here at home, getting that plus price, but it could be the other way, that it's a bad matchup for them. They were competitive games, so.
Yeah.
I was trying to make sure it is going to be Olmark. Yes, likely. I need a confirmed. But he has been really good since coming back in his 2 starts. So that makes it tough too.
All right, we'll go up to Madison Square Garden, where the home team is now 6-18 on the money line in their own home building. It is the 4th and final meeting of the year between the Hurricanes and Rangers. We've got the Rangers as a plus 180 underdog here. Carolina is a minus 210 favorite on the road, a total of 6 with a 120 to the over.
4th game for these two, right?
Yep.
And Carolina won 2 out of 3. I like this one even before Dwayne had mentioned it because, I mean, we're still without Shesterkin, Jonathan Quick going for the Rangers, Brandon Bussey going on the other side. And then I saw Carolina has a season best point streak going, trying to extend that to 10 games. So give me the better team here. And the other one's clearly sellers right now. And I mean, I know that first trade deadline was yesterday, but made a big one yesterday, so I'll take Carolina here on the puck line.
We can go the sports by the book stamp of approval here. The Carolina Hurricanes are going for their 20th win since the start of December. We just mentioned the Flyers have lost 20 games since the start of December, so equally as bad. The Carolina Hurricanes are that good. 20th, they are 19-8-4 since the start of December, so 19-12 on the money line there. But we mentioned it is the 4th and final meeting between these two. Carolina has won 2 of those 3 prior. Carolina won 3-0 in New York to start the month of November. The Rangers won in Carolina that same month, but Carolina won just before New Year's 3-2 back in Raleigh. So this one, final one in Madison Square Garden here. Rangers, losers of 3 straight, losers of 15 of 19, losers of 20 of 29 since the start of December. So one team going for their 20th win since the start of December. One team going for their 21st loss since the start of December. It's the Rangers here for me. And just another note on that 6-18 on the money line in Madison Square Garden for the Rangers this year. They are 3-9 at home since the start of December.
Oh my gosh.
They have covered the puck line in just 4 of those 9 losses. So 5-4 are the favorites on the puck line in the road building. So let's go for 6-4 here tonight with the Hurricanes.
And then go right down the street for this next one.
Yep. Going to New Jersey, the Devils hosting the Islanders. This one is also the fourth and final meeting between these two teams this year. This one is a pick'em here at the South Point, -110 on the sides, and a total of 5.5 with a -125 to the under.
Have not bet this one yet. It is a lean for me to the under here with Sorokin going and Allen, which Allen, I mean, if you pick his spots, he can be really, really good. So 5.5, my number is 5.25. So it would either be 5 over -125 or 5.5 under -125, and that's what they're giving us right there. So I guess you'd have to shop around and try and find a better number where you're not laying such a big price there, because that's exactly what mine is. And side, I think that's just right, but yeah. Or Ryan, I guess you could probably on some spots like go under a 6 and add that up with something and just pay more juice for that even.
There is a lone 6.5 in the market, but you are laying a -210 price there.
Wow.
So yeah.
That's a lot. No lone 6s though?
No lone 6s.
Okay. That's a wait and see, I guess. See if we get some over money between those two. What do you like in this one?
So fourth and final meeting. The Islanders are going for the season sweep. They have won all 3 of the prior meetings. They won 3-2 in New Jersey back in November. They won 2-1 in the UBS Arena where the Islanders play host just before Christmas. And then a month ago, the Islanders won 9-0. So that one is probably still on the forefront of the Devils' mind. They probably still remember that one pretty well. But imagine the Islanders remember that one pretty well too, because that was their most goals they've scored this season. So the pretty good night to feel pretty good. I faded the Devils on Tuesday because of how they've been doing at home since the start of December. They are 4-12 at home since the start of December. We kind of talked at the beginning of the year, them being really, really good at home. Not so much as of recent. All 4 of those wins came against Western Conference teams. They are 0-8 against Eastern Conference teams, so 4-4 against the West, 0-8 against the East here since the start of December for the Devils at home. This is an Eastern Conference team, so we are going with the Islanders -110 price. Don't even hate it if you want to go on the reverse puck line, which I'll have to look what that one is, but we'll get that for you in a second.
I have a feeling I had that over when they won 9-0. So maybe I'm going to stay away from that under for sure.
Reverse puck line there, +240 for the Islanders laying the puck in half.
Going for the sweep there.
Mm-hmm. All right, going down the East Coast, going to Tampa, where the Panthers and Lightning play their 4th and final meeting of the season. We've got the Lightning as a -180 home favorite here, +160 on the buyback for the Panthers, and a total of 6 with 110 either way.
Well, I do agree with Dwayne talking about how good this Tampa Bay team has been. 6 straight wins coming into this. They've won 9 straight at home in this building, so going for their 10th in a row there. I think the price is right. I got it -188. So I don't really know how to attack this one, and I do have the total sitting there at 6. What are you thinking, Ryan? With Florida playing on a back-to-back, home to away here in this one, and their 4th game in 6 nights.
Yeah, so their game last night was against the Bruins, a game that they, I would say, almost blew because they gave the Bruins 7 power play opportunities. The Bruins also gave them 3 power play opportunities. So the Bruins scored once on their 7 power plays. They also gave the Panthers a goal on a Bruins power play. So they gave up a shorthanded goal to give the Panthers a 4-2 lead in that game. The Panthers were down 2-1 at the end of one. They then scored 2 power play goals to start the second period. Then they get the shorthanded goal to go up 4-2. And then the third period was pretty much all Bruins until the Panthers tied it up in dramatic fashion and then ended up winning it in the shootout. With that being said, I made the point of giving up 7 power plays to the Bruins last night. The Bruins gave up 7 consecutive power plays to the Lightning in the Lightning's dramatic comeback against them in the Stadium Series. So if Florida is going to commit the same amount of penalties that they did last night against this team,
Right.
they have no chance. But these are 2 in-state rivals that have played some pretty competitive hockey of late. I say that with an asterisk because this season, it is their 4th and final meeting. The road team has covered the puck line in each of the 3 prior instances. So that would kind of favor the Panthers to cover a reverse puck line here. I don't think that's going to happen because the Panthers aren't necessarily playing that great. And the Lightning have won 4 straight and 18 of their last 20. I do think that this is going to be a pretty tight game. And we kind of talked about favoring the Lightning and the Panthers to look at them once we get back from the break. I think this game might be one that goes to overtime. And we're getting a plus 310 price or 295 price for this one to go to overtime. So we'll root for more competitive hockey in this one as well.
I don't want to put you on the spot, and I can find it actually right here in this database if you don't have it. But do you know how Florida has been on back-to-back nights?
That I do not have.
Okay, I'm going to try and find it because I can easily grab it right here. While we go to the last one, which all started off.
It's actually a 310 price.
What'd you say?
The overtime in that game is a 310 price.
310.
The overtime in this next one is 295.
I have a bet on the Knights in regulation because, truth be told, after the first period yesterday, I thought I was making a live bet on the Knights game yesterday. So, double check and make sure if your team is playing on a back-to-back that you are under the live. So,
okay.
Knights in regulation for me today against the Kings.
Well, the Knights are a minus 130 favorite here on the money line and a plus 110 for the Kings. On the money lines there, total of 6 with a 115 to the under. Do you have any thoughts on that total?
Total 6. Let me see what I made it, actually. 6 under, minus 120. So nothing really there.
Okay. That is pretty funny. This is the 3rd of 4 meetings for these 2 teams. They played in the Knights' first game of the regular season. It was the 2nd for the Kings. That one went to a shootout. It was a 6-5 final where the Kings won on the road. They played just a month ago, and that one was in LA. The Kings lost in overtime to the Knights 3-2, again, in overtime. So I would be playing. We tried it last night with the Wild and Predators to go to the overtime for the 3rd time this year. That's my look here for this game to go to overtime. So we got a little bit of a 2-way action here in this one.
Well, I might have to bet overtime. I might have to bet overtime to get off of it, maybe a little bit.
Yeah, find a.
Because if there were 2 teams that, I mean, these 2 definitely how they match up, and we've already seen it twice.
Okay. But it is the 2nd of a back-to-back for both of these teams. Kings are 5-0-3 on the 2nd of a back-to-back this year. The Knights are 4-2-2 on the 2nd of a back-to-back. So both have shown that they can play in overtime games, and I have taken another one. So 295 there, overtime for this one.
Cannot fault you. I do like that, definitely. All right, this is downloading, so that might take a second. So let's go to some...
You got some basketball?
Some basketball.
All right.
Yes, and it's funny. I actually saw Dean Hilt requested the one game that I have.
All right, going to 781, West Virginia and Cincinnati. Cincinnati is a 5.5-point favorite here at the South Point. Total is 127.5.
So I'm actually going to split my unit here because that 127 does make 127.5 makes me a little bit nervous, but do like the under, comparing even to Kenny White's power ratings here. He's got it 110 between these 2. First game, West Virginia won at home 62-60. So no home revenge or anything in this spot, but total of 122 points in that one. And it's just the style of play both of these teams play at. And the Bearcats, 17-5 to the under this year. West Virginia 15-7 to the under. So I always say just whichever one is dominating, kind of in that trend. So 17 unders, 5 overs for Cincinnati, and 15 unders, 7 overs for West Virginia. Cincinnati at home, 10 unders, 3 overs. I love it. I love the trends. I like the style of play. Really, West Virginia plays slow. Cincinnati, fantastic defense. So under 127.5 full game, half a unit. And then I'm going to go under 60 first half. And this one's a little tricky because both of them averaged 34 points in the first half. But they're Cincinnati's top 10 in points allowed. It's sitting right there, close to 30. And West Virginia's not far behind them. So split it up, but I do like the under between those two. Just to give you the side number, Cincinnati 7. And it looks like it's like 5.5 at most shops. So, okay, so there's one of them.
I think your next one is in the UC battle.
Yes.
UC Santa Barbara at UC Davis. We've got a road favorite here. Santa Barbara is a 3.5-point favorite here at the South Point, and a total of 148.5.
And I do think that they are a deserving road favorite. I actually think 3.5 is pretty cheap. We also have some home revenge, not only from last year, but from this year once again, where UC Davis won in Santa Barbara 93-86. So I like Santa Barbara. I think they're the better team. I think they should be closer to 9 in this spot once you add in that home revenge. Total, a little bit of a lean to the under there at 142 compared to that 147. But I'm going to pick the side instead, and I'm going to lay the points here with UCSB.
All right.
I think that's it. Unless there's any more, there's way more home revenge happening later down the board here, and it looks like most of it's from this season. Long Beach State home revenge lost that first matchup to UC San Diego at home, 80-74. Might be one. UC Bakersfield has home revenge from this season. 81-77 was that first game. And then Florida Gulf Coast from last season, so have not played yet this year, but last year they did lose at home to Eastern Kentucky. 92-74, though, so that was a pretty brutal one. And a couple more, but let's get our whiteboards ready. And if anybody's interested in ever getting these full power rating sheets, you can go to KennyWhiteSports.com, and if you sign up for the power ratings, you get every single sport that is going on. Hockey, college basketball. NBA is a little streaky, but definitely all the football as well. And baseball coming up here shortly. So if you want to go check that out. All right, Ryan, shall we go to the poll question?
We can do that.
Poll results and ticker trivia, if you are ready. Because I did get my game logs. I'm curious. I'm going to check out this split here.
All right, first we'll go with today's poll, asking you guys about the coin toss in this year's Super Bowl 60, because it's a Thursday toss-up. Make your coin toss prop pick and comment your side in the chat. I don't think anybody listened to those directions, but we did get some votes on the outcome, whether it was heads or tails, the toss winner, Seattle or New England, or the Seattle play call or coin toss caller being correct or wrong. But 57% of the chat is going with the outcome prop of heads or tails. So we did 57% of the chat going with the typical heads or tails, the one that came out first when they started doing those coin toss props. And now we can go to today's ticker trivia, presented by City Light Shine, available at Lee's Discount Liquor, Total Wine, and here at the South Point Hotel and Casino, all of which in Las Vegas. Super Bowl question, talking about Super Bowl 49 on this date, or not on this date, but February 1st, 2015 in Glendale, Arizona, saw the only other season finale matchup between the Seahawks and the Patriots. Which player famously secured victory for their team with a last-minute interception at the goal line? In the final moments of Super Bowl 49, New England Patriots cornerback Malcolm Butler ended the Seahawks' bid for back-to-back championship titles by intercepting a pass by Russell Wilson at the goal line. With seconds left in the game, the play secured the Patriots' 4th franchise title. The famous play was also the first and undoubtedly the most important interception of Malcolm Butler's NFL career. We did have Dean beat Nick Sansone in the chat of typing Butler first. We'll give Nick some props for typing the full 12 letters of Malcolm Butler. But Malcolm Butler is your answer for today's Ticker Trivia presented by City Light Shine. Again, available at Lee's Discount Liquor, Total Wine, and here at the South Point Hotel and Casino. But now we can go to our whiteboard plays.
Whiteboard plays, here we go. I do just want to tell you, looking at the game logs for the Florida Panthers, so they've corrected a little bit. They've won their last 2 second of the back-to-back. But before that, they had lost 4 of 5. So now they're 3-4 on the second of a back-to-back. One of them was Chicago, Ryan, and one of them was Washington during this streak that they haven't been playing great. So I don't know how much we want to take from that.
Yeah.
Going up against a Tampa Bay team that's playing really good. But you like the overtime anyways in that. You're not going side.
Yeah. I mean, it does kind of spook me because if Florida does play sloppy and commit penalties, I don't think the Tampa covers the puck line. But if we get a physical battle of two teams that are very familiar with each other and want to kind of stick it to each other before they take a 3-week break, I would think we're getting physical hockey here. So.
All right. Well, I'm going to just do one hockey. I had some leans and likes, but I am going to do these 2 college basketball really quick. Cincy under 127.5 first half. And then UCSB minus 3.5. Okay, here we go. For this Thursday, February 5th, last day of whiteboards. Oh, that's the question. Are we showing our prop whiteboards after this? Okay, so for the sports happening tonight, I am going to lay the puck line here with the Hurricanes minus 1.5 plus 115 at Madison Square Garden against the Rangers, who have been one of the worst home teams this season, and the Canes are playing really good, trying to keep their point streak alive. College basketball, West Virginia, Cincinnati, full game, half a unit under 127.5. First half under 60 for half a unit. And then I am going UC Santa Barbara minus 3.5 with the double home revenge here. And I think that they should be a much bigger favorite in this matchup. So that is it for me. I'll throw it over to Ryan. I am very intrigued to see what we got here and which games you are taking to overtime.
We're taking a chance on 3 different games to go to overtime. We will start with a money line play in New Jersey, where the Islanders are a pick'em against a team that is not playing very good at home at all. So a minus 110 there for the Islanders on the money line. Then we got the Penguins and Sabres to go to overtime, plus 315 there. Panthers and Lightning to go to overtime, plus 310 there. And the Kings and Knights to get extra hockey for our guy Attila in the chat, plus 295 on that overtime price there in that one.
I really just hope that the Knights can play like they did yesterday, second and third period.
Artemi Panarin will not be playing, or should not be playing for the Kings in this one. They should be just getting him back after the break.
Okay.
So
kind of figured that. But okay. Do you want to show our prop bets again?
Sure.
Before we get out of here? And then tomorrow we will be with because then we're gonna have all the bookmakers with us as we're going through. Looking a little crazy, betting on all these prop bets. So, you want to start it off, Ryan?
Sure. 11 plus price props in the South Point packet. So we got first touchdown in the game, any other touchdown, not a passing touchdown, plus 125 for any other touchdown. Team with first turnover in the game, the Patriots committing the first turnover in the game at even money. Total combined interceptions in the game, over 1.5. You can get 1 interception from both quarterbacks or 2 from one, getting plus 130 in that one. Total number of players with a completion in the game, over 2.5, getting a plus 210 price there. Seahawks first half rushing touchdown, plus 120. Patriots first half rushing touchdown, plus 175. Total sacks in the game by the Seahawks, over 3.5, getting plus 110. Kayshon Boutte, receptions, over 2.5, plus 105. Mac Hollins, receptions, over 2.5, plus 115. And our guy from Vegas, Ramondre Stevenson, yes, touchdown, plus 150. And Ramondre to score a touchdown before Kenneth Walker does, getting $2 there. 11 plus price plays on the whiteboard.
I love it. Okay, I'm adding because I did add 2 more. Sorry, everybody. And under. I'm gonna have to redo this. Busier than the South Point. Here we go. I'm going to try and follow Ryan as well as he did. I added 4083 Seattle touchdown pass will be the first score of the game, plus 375. Everybody in the chat picked it yesterday, and I loved it. I also added Patriots team total under 20.5. I've got 3109 combined sacks over 5.5. It wasn't plus 120, it was plus 105. Now it is not plus money, but I still really like over for the sacks. Total interceptions over 1.5, 3111. 3275 May passing attempts over 30.5. Do you think that's a little correlated here with Stevenson rushing attempts under 14.5? And then I'm going defense, special team, touchdown, yes, 270. Douglas anytime, plus 650. Splitting that up with a little bit on him to be the Patriots' first touchdown. So that is it for us. For now, we'll have more tomorrow where we fully break down the game, give our last final thoughts. Thank you for joining us all week long. It's been a really fun week prepping for Super Bowl 60. Cannot wait for the day to get here. But in the meantime, hope everybody cashes some tickets today. Thank you again to the crew, Ann, Jerry, Sean, Drew, Doug, and Vince. Thank you to Ryan. Thank you to DC and Ralph. That was a ton of fun having those two in here. Ryan, any final thoughts before we send it off and then we're back in 24 hours?
Yeah, not just tomorrow's Football Frenzy at noon, going through the entire prop packet with 3 legendary men in the sports gambling world, 3 bookmakers talking about everything that we have to offer here, and that is being offered here in Super Bowl 60. Do want to point out, if you are able to get here to the South Point and you like either spread in the game, you can lay a minus 105 rather than a 110, rather than a 115, a 105 with a spread of 5 in this game. Can also keep in mind, it is going to be very busy Saturday, Sunday, more than likely tomorrow. So the earlier you can get in to get your bets, take advantage of the prices, get them in as soon as you can. It's going to be very busy as we get closer to kickoff, as well as the big game parties that we have here on property.
Yes. Some of the best, free admission. You don't have to pay to get in. You don't have to pay for parking, and plenty of locations. And they will have betting windows and kiosks everywhere. Good point, though, about waiting till Super Bowl Sunday. And if you haven't bet often or a lot, definitely go before it is full and more intimidating when you're looking at that board and there are hundreds of props. So, all right, that is it for us. Thank you, everybody who was in the chat. Good to see you all. We'll be back tomorrow in just over 24 hours. Cash some tickets. Best of luck. Go Knights. Keep that win streak alive. And thanks for watching. This is Sports by the Book. We'll see you tomorrow.